Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a Fabulous Friday. Welcome back to Just Keep Parenting. There's a couple things that I have just been thinking about this week as we work with children, as we have relationships with others, and uh, and the power of self-control. Right, with Becky Bailey. If you've just joined us, this is the book that we've been kind of talking about, Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline. And Dr. Bailey talks about the 7 powers of self-control. And as I've been thinking about that this week and last week our video was about the power of intention, right? That conflict is an opportunity to teach rather than an opportunity to make our life awful. And as I've worked with the teachers this week in the lab school, that's one of the things that I have continually thought about, right? I wanted to turn in my teaching badge, and I do that about once a year, right? I have a bad day. It's not just a bad day. It's a really bad day. And I want to turn in my teaching badge, and I start to question the things that I know, the things that are in alignment with developmentally appropriate practices, right, with children's development. But sometimes I have children or teachers that test my limits, as you have children that test your limits. And I was just so grateful this week to remember this is an opportunity to teach, right? And so as I have a child who has some toddler tendencies, and we shouldn't necessarily be seeing those tendencies at this point. I have reminded myself this is an opportunity to teach rather than an opportunity for me to get frustrated. I've shared that with my teachers as well. And on Wednesday, there could have been some tears. But on Thursday, we had walked through a plan. We'd put our brains together. And I hope that you're able to do that either with your partner or with somebody else that has the kids the same age as your kids. But sometimes we just need to open up and figure out, am I just like hitting my head against the rock here? Or is there something else that can be helpful? And so as we counsel together as a team of teachers, and I've got a lot of experience, right? I should be able to have all the answers. No, I don't. And so it's always helpful to have that team counsel together and come up. So find a team, right? Whatever that is, whether it's your partner, whether it's somebody in the neighborhood, whether it's your book club, but find a team and see if you can't help think outside the box. So this week, my friends, the power is the power of free will, right? Oh gosh, we'd like to make everybody do it the way we want them to do it. But we all know that doesn't work very well, right? The only person you can make change is yourself, right? Is me. And so one of the things that it comes down to what we're thinking, right? What our thought process is. What is up here in that muscle memory? What have we created? I remember my mother, as she got older, she would say, gosh, I need to call so-and-so, or gosh, I need to go for a walk today. And then all of a sudden she said, I don't need to do that. I want to do that. I want to call so-and-so. I want to go for a walk. And I didn't really ever think about it until I started to learn more about conscious discipline. And I thought she was totally using the power, the power of free will, recognizing that we really don't have to do anything. There's the old adage, I only have to die and pay taxes. Well, yeah. You don't even have to pay taxes. You can choose to go to jail if you don't want to pay taxes, right? So the whole idea behind it is we're not going to change anybody but ourselves. And as we change ourselves, we have to change the way we think about things, right? And so since my mom passed away quite a few years ago, that's one of the things that I'm a big I need to, right? Oh, I need to call that person, and I need to go see that person, and I need to, right? And it's make it a choice, right? In the book, she talks about should versus would, right? I should call this person. I should go for a walk. I should eat healthy. But she said, if you just change it to could, I could stop by and get some milk tonight. Do I need to? Should I? No, but I could. And then it makes it a choice for us, right? And I love that concept of then I get to choose. And because we're teaching that to the children all the time. As we were talking this week in my capstone class, one of the things that came up was how we help children, how we support children in making choices, right? And as we, many of us like to use the word warning, but warning doesn't set well with me because it's very negative. But a reminder sets a little bit better with me because we're all about helping the children know what they could be doing, can be doing versus what they can't be doing, right? And we're kind of a negative society. Don't do this, don't do that, you can't do that, rather than saying, you know what, this is not very safe, but you're welcome to do this or you're welcome to do this. And so as I was teaching this morning in class, one of the things that came up is, well, how do we help children listen? Because we've got some kids that are struggling to listen. And I said, what does that mean for you, right? Do I call you out? Do I say your name? Do I, make you feel bad? Or do I just give you a gentle reminder and say, you know what, sweetie, your job is to be listening right now. And so if you can't listen, because sometimes I sit by my best friend too, and we just want to chat. So if that's a problem, then we can move you to another place, right? You can choose a different place to sit so that you can listen better. So there's the gentle reminder. And I said to the teachers, we become permissive caregivers or permissive parents when we don't follow through. But if we follow through and we notice that child still continuing to do the behavior, I just say to them, sweetie, we just talked about this a minute ago, and you're making the choice to move to a different place because you're not listening. So then the consequence, they already know what the consequence is, right? As we've given the reminder, and then the consequence wraps into place at that point. And then they have another choice. So you need to move. So do you want to move to the red circle or to the green circle? Well, I don't want to move. Well, that's not a choice right now. You need to move, but you do have a choice as to where to go sit. And you have another choice. You can go by yourself or I can help you go, right? And so there again, you're helping them to make those choices by giving them choices and not, you are going to sit over there. And I'm going to count to 5, right? We've kind of all said that. We might have all done that. We've at least all thought it, right? And so as we think about testing their free will, right? We were given agency for a reason, right? And so as teachers, as parents, as caregivers, that's one of the gifts that we've been given, and we've just got to figure out how to use it ourselves and how to help others use it. I think that the main thing that I got from the power of free will this week is to, sometimes when we feel inadequate, right? Let me just read this from Dr. Bailey. The belief that adults can make children mind and get them to change is as common as air, right? We all think we can do it. In fact, most people consider it the responsibility of parents to make children behave. These people further believe that parents have failed in their duty when their children misbehave, and that the parents must be inadequate. These beliefs have come down to us through the generations. No one seems to question these false, hurtful assumptions. So I want you to think a little bit this week about how that happens in your life. Because as I read this, I was like, yeah, that's kind of where I came from, right? But I do a lot of talking about behaving versus misbehaving. And children don't necessarily misbehave because they are learning how to behave, right? Now, as adults, sometimes we already know how to behave and we choose to misbehave, right? And so, but even though that misbehavior happens, I can't change you unless you want to change, right? So, this week, what we're going to think about is I can't strong arm children. Sure, I can strong arm them. But what I'm teaching them, we had a lesson this week on using our big voice, right? And our big voice is not a loud voice, but it's a big voice to combat bullying. So when somebody takes something from us, or, to look them in the eye and to say, I don't like it when you take that. I was playing it with it. Give it back to me, please. And the key is to look them in their eyes to say it, because anytime we can look a bully in the eyes, it doesn't destroy, but it takes away that bulliness. And so as we teach our children to do this, we're going to strong arm them into changing, and pretty soon they're going to strong arm somebody else, right? And so the idea behind this is to help them know what they could be doing, right? And give them those choices. So just practice this week, right? Practice changing our shoulds to coulds, even in our own life. I love the example that she said, I should go by and get some milk after work. No, just change it to I could go by, and then make a choice. Do I want to go by and get some milk, or do I want to wait? Can it wait till tomorrow? I don't have to do anything, but I could do something. So the ideas behind this, my friends, are, if you catch yourself saying, how can I make my child clean up his room or make their bed, right? Change it to, how can I help my child to be more likely to choose to clean up their room, right? And then that changes just a little bit. As we were thinking today in class about the students are doing some of their assignments. And I said, you're welcome to email me. Let me know. I'd love to look at your draft and give you some feedback on that, right? I have some students who've chosen not to do that, right? So the natural consequence is they don't get my feedback. And that's kind of hard for some of them to figure out at this point. But I can't make them turn in a draft. If they want to, they are more than welcome to, and I'd love to help them. So I don't say to them, how can I make them turn in a draft? But how can I help them want to turn in a draft? And I don't feel bad anymore. I set the boundaries and say, Friday's almost over. If you'd like me to look at it, I'd be happy to look at it. But I don't necessarily look at my email from work over the weekend. So I've set up those boundaries, told them what there are, and given them that possibility of sending something in. The other thing that we can work on this week as we think about the power of free will is to change our shoulds to coulds, right? I should exercise. Well, I don't have to, but I could exercise. What do I want to do today? Do I want to ride my bike? Do I want to go for a walk? Do I want to go for a swim, right? I could do that. Make that choice. And then the last one is to practice allowing others to have their own thoughts and feelings. That's a hard one. Sometimes I want them to think like I do, right? And so just resist the urge to try to make people happy. We can't make them happy. But some of us try. I kind of have been a people pleaser for some of my life, and trying to get that to understand that, wait a minute, they can be happy or unhappy with my choices, right? I'm not doing it to make them happy. So as you take off for another week, think about the power of free will. The only person you can make change is yourself. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining. Go ahead and share this to anybody that you think might be interested in it, and we'll move ahead. Good to see you here. Bye-bye.